But going back to that whole thing of Tali having a crush on Shepard, there was little signs all over the place, not just like that recording where she says that she misses Shepard, but also, I mean, Tali herself tells you if you start approaching her romance, she tells you, you know, a dashing young commander, how could I ever fall for him, or something like that. But also Kelly Chambers tells you that Tali may, the way that her body language when she's around Shepard kind of makes her seem like she wants to be more than just friends. And I mean, if you talk to Kasumi also, Kasumi tells you as well that you know, she's always talking about you or something like that. So I found that really endearing about Tali, especially when you don't romance her, because my Shepard in Mass Effect 1 romanced Ashley, and then in Mass Effect 2 romanced Miranda. Not because I loved Miranda, but because she's not one of my favorites. But I romanced Miranda because I feel like that's what my Shepard would have done. Because my Shepard felt so heartbroken that Ashley turned him away the way she did, that he just wanted to turn to somebody to feel loved, you know, not really a real relationship. So the person that he would do that with was Miranda. He would never have done that with, I feel, because I always had in my mind that my Shepard always loved Ashley, and that he went to Miranda more for need, not really for love. So he would have never done that to Tali, because he sees Tali as family. I mean, he loves Tali like a little sister. A lot of people were saying like a sister, and he would not use her like that. But Miranda, I feel bad saying that for Miranda, because, you know, I don't like saying that, but that's the way that I saw it for my Shepard. She pretty much made her feelings known, which I like, because it's like, it just adds to that story that I make in my head with my Shepard, where, you know, Shepard knows that Tali is kind of like in love with him, but he's like, no, I can't just go with her because she's in love with me. I need to be in love with her, because he just cares about her too much, and he wouldn't do that to her. In Mass Effect 3, it all depends on what happened in Mass Effect 2, whether Tali was exiled or not. I know that in Mass Effect 3, she's not an admiral, obviously, because she's exiled, but she's like the Admiralty Board's dirty little secret. Like, she's a secret because she's helping them out, because she's the one that knows the most about the Geth. So yeah, she's either a dirty little secret for the Admiralty Board, or she's part of the Admiralty Board as an admiral, if she wasn't exiled in Mass Effect 2. She feels pressured, that she feels scared, that she doesn't know what to do, because she's pretty much has the lives of 17 million people on her shoulders, and they're counting on her decisions, and she's just like, I don't know what to do. You know, this is too much for me. I think I'm not prepared for this. Like, I'm not prepared to be in this position. And Shepard could comfort her and tell her that you know, people will die, that's a fact. And when he says that, Tali's reminded from something that her father once told her. She says, commanders mourn losses, not people. And, you know, Tali, I think, is trying to say that I can't do that. You know, I can't not see these people as something else. I can't just say, because Shepard was saying people are gonna die. You know, that happens in war. But she can't get over that. She can't accept that, because it's like, they're not just losses, they're people, they're my people. When she finally sets foot on Rannoch, I really love that scene where she tells Shepard that they're used to, her people are used to taking their homes with them. And Shepard picks up a rock on Rannoch, and he gives it to her, and it's kind of, he says something like, this is a start, or something like that. Everything that happens on Rannoch really can't turn out perfect. There's always a loss, no matter what you do. Some situations are worse than others, but it comes down to that whole scene where you either side with the Quarians or side with the Geth, or you try to make peace between both. In all of those, there's a loss. Pretty much what's happening is Legion is download, like getting the information from the Reaper, the Reaper code to send it to all Geth units, and they think that by doing that it's going to turn them all into heretics, and Legion's like, no, it's not. It's gonna make them, not turn into heretics anymore. Hongarel, I think it was. Hongarel, the Quarian admiral, is like, let's attack the fleet right now. They're vulnerable. And this, I love this part. Like, I was like, oh my god. I was so stressed out. I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Please don't make me choose. Please don't make me choose. And you're trying to tell Hongarel to hold on, like, don't attack them. And Legion is like is uploading this code, and Tali's like, she's kind of put in the middle, because she's like, who do I side with? Like, freaking Hongarel, my people. We could attack the Geth and like destroy them right now, or trust Shepard and trust Legion, to let him go ahead and do that. If you side with the Quarians and you let Hongarel attack, Legion gets hostile. He goes hostile, and Tali ends up stabbing him in the back with her boot knife. Like, she has a knife hidden in her boot, so she kills Legion. If you side with the Geth, all of her people get destroyed. The whole flotilla is destroyed. This is probably the worst thing that could ever happen to any characters in Mass Effect, I think. It's probably by far one of the worst deaths. And it got me by surprise when I knew that this could happen. I was like, no way. Where Tali commits suicide, I was like, I wouldn't have been able to handle that. I wouldn't have accepted it. If that had happened to me where I didn't know that was going to happen, if I saw that freaking Tali just took off her mask and then just fell off the cliff, because she pretty much just lets herself go. And Shepard actually tries to stop her, but he's too late. I wouldn't have been able to accept that. I would have reloaded. I never do that. I rarely do that. I stick with the decisions that I make. And I'm like, oh well, that's what I decided. That's what I get. But in this case, I would never have accepted that. I would be like, oh, that's not happening. But I think by far that's one of the worst deaths. One of the worst things that could happen to a character in Mass Effect. Because everything else, it's like, you could lose your characters in the suicide mission and all that, and as much as that hurts, it's nowhere near the experience of seeing Tali kill herself. But it just says so much about her too. I would have never guessed that Tali would have been capable of doing that. I mean, it just shows you what I was telling you, that loyalty that she has towards her people, how much her people mean to her, and why she's doing everything she's doing. It's for her people. Even though she has so much loyalty for Shepard, her people, I think, still come first. And then if you get the Quarian and the Geth to peacefully come to an accordance, Legion is able to upload the thing and the code, the Reaper code, I forgot what it was called, and the Quarians don't attack the Geth, and there's finally peace between both. That's what I did. I wouldn't have it any other way, even though you also lose Legion that way. That broke my heart. Seeing Legion just deactivate. I was like, you could see in my reaction videos, that scene, it was just, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I couldn't believe it, because I love Legion so much. I started bawling. I was crying. Oh my god, that hit me so hard. That was way more acceptable than the way that Tali died. I wouldn't have been able to accept that. I accepted Legion's death because there was something good out of it. He pretty much, Legion pretty much accomplished the peace between the Geth and the Quarians. I mean, of course, Shepard did too, and Tali and all them. But because of what Legion did, it all came together the way it did. And it's sad because Tali even tells you in that moment, she tells you it's kind of stupid or weird that I'm mourning a Geth. That was a crazy mission. So after this, Tali becomes the Quarian ambassador on the Citadel, and she tries to get medical supplies for the Quarians, but it's like, you're really not going to get anything right now because everybody is kind of hanging on to all the supplies that they have for their people, like the Turians. She tried with the Turians, and the Turians are like, no, we're losing Palaven, I'm sorry, but no. And then the fall of Thessia, Tali felt bad because she couldn't comfort Liara, because she was like, I wanna comfort her, but I can't because I just gained my home planet and she just lost it. So she was like, I can't say anything to her. Like, I can't make her feel better. There was an interesting conversation, or I found it interesting, when Tali talks to Edie. There are some conversations between both of them. Tali is asking Edie, why haven't we seen any Quarian husks? You know, what is it? Do the Reapers, you know, as much as Tali should be happy for that, she's still wondering, like, why? You know, what is it about the Quarians that the Reapers, they're like, those freaking Quarians, yeah, right, we don't need you guys, thank you very much. She's asking Edie this, and I found that really interesting. I'm like, Tali, you should be happy that they're not using you guys. But she's honestly, like, curious. Like, she's like, what is it? You know, are we weak? Are we weak? Are weak people? And Edie actually tries to, like, you know, comfort her. I mean, it's like, it's the worst situation to have to comfort somebody. I mean, it's like, hello, you know, it's good. It's a good thing, Tali. Edie tells her, you know, you're very useful and the Quarians have helped us out so much and all this stuff. But in all honesty, if you hear Harbinger in Mass Effect 2, there are some files of Harbinger. Some of them weren't used in the game, but you could hear Harbinger talking about each race. He talks about the Solarians. He talks about the Turians and why they're not as perfect of a specimen as the humans. Because, you know, the humans are the ones that the Reapers really want to harvest because of so many things. They're like the perfect. They're like, you know, the Goldilocks syndrome. They're just right. Harbinger talks about the Turians and says that no, they're too primitive. The Krogan, they're kind of, you know, they're kind of defective. The Solarians, they live way too short. They have really short lifespans. And the Quarians, their immune system, it just doesn't make them a good host. Tali was thinking on the right lines, I think, that's why the Reapers weren't using the Quarians as husks, because they're like, you know, come on, husks having to be in a suit. I mean, would they even have to be in a suit though? Would they get sick if you Reaperized a Quarian? Actually, if you think about it, I think the Reapers could make it that Quarians didn't need their suits. They could genetically alter them, because that's what Reapers do. They genetically alter species, like they did with the Protheans, turning them into the Collectors to suit their needs. So the Reapers could alter the Quarians, but I think they probably just didn't want to. I think they were just like, you know what, we're not even gonna mess with that right now. We have much bigger issues to deal with here. Could you imagine if they had Reaperized a Quarian and made it so that they didn't need their suits anymore? you probably would have been seeing these creatures without, like, the Quarians the way that they actually are, like morphed. Oh, that would have been really, that actually, as creepy as that would have been, I think that would have been really interesting. That would have been so awesome if they had done that. Man, Tali was onto something. And then, of course, the drunk scene of Tali, the one that everybody loves. Everybody just falls in love with Tali, either all over again or for the first time when she's drunk because of the things that she says. And the whole emergency induction port and how she's drinking through a straw. Oh my god. That's such a good scene. And I mean, it just shows so much to Tali, because I mean, I would never have guessed that Tali could get this drunk. You know, I always saw her as, like, you know, kind of like a good girl, but she actually gets really drunk, and that's not the only time she gets drunk. She gets drunk in the Citadel DLC also, and like really wasted. in the extended cut DLC, the ending, where if you romance Tali, where she says goodbye to Shepard, that was one of the most heartfelt ones. That was so heartfelt. I did tear up when I saw that one. Shepard tells her, you know, you have your home now, you know, Rannoch, you have to go back and like build that little home that you always wanted, because when she landed on Rannoch, she was like trying to like see where she would build her home, and she was talking about her home on Rannoch in Mass Effect 2, that her father would tell her that he was going to build her a home on Rannoch. And he says this to her when he's saying goodbye, and all Tali says is, I already have a home. And I'm like, ah! I still get teary-eyed when I remember that. Oh my god. Oh my god, it was just so heartfelt. That was probably one of the most heartfelt endings or goodbyes, because it's like, oh my god, don't do this to me, man. In the Citadel DLC, we get to interact with the characters in ways that we never really did, which was super awesome, which is one of the reasons why I love that DLC. If you romance Tali, she actually sings the musical of Fleet and Flotilla, and you really see just how nerdy she is. It's like, oh my god, I love her. She's so cool. She watches like this soap that's like, it looks like it's so cheesy, but she's just like so into it, and then she starts singing it, and it's just like, it's this really sweet moment. And then of course I have to mention the joke of Tali'Zorah von Normandy, SR3. And she's like, Voss. Vaughn is somebody with a weak bladder. She was all drunk. Oh, that was so good. She has a name for her drone. It's called Chatika. That was actually taken from Baldur's Gate. There's a lot of Baldur's Gate references in this game. Chatika is one of them, because the full name of her drone is Chatika Vaspaus. That's a reference from Baldur's Gate 2 from Chiktika Fast Paws. It was a raccoon companion to the character Bervin. And another reference to Baldur's Gate 2 is, go for the optics, Chatika, go for the optics. And that was also a reference from Baldur's Gate with Boo, the space hamster. They'll tell Boo to go for the eyes. Go for the eyes, Boo. And then another reference is also in Baldur's Gate, they'll say faster than Chiktika Fast Paws, and Tali says nothing's faster than Chatika Fast Paws. Originally, Tali was actually named Tali'Zorah, but since that didn't really roll well on the tongue, and it was more of a light name and not too strong, they changed it at the very end, like right before launch. Add a Z to anything and you add umph to it. So now, of course, I have to mention Tali's face. For those of you that romance Tali, you got to see Tali's face in the picture. That was object of so much criticism towards BioWare, because people were saying that it was laziness, because the picture, Tali's face is an edited portrait of the 2005 Miss England Hamasa Kahistani. So yeah, they pretty much just took a picture and they kind of like added little things right here, and they made her eyes look whatever. but she pretty much looks human. I didn't really have to deal with it because I didn't even get to see her face, so I was like, whatever, I'm just pretend that never happened. But still, just knowing that that's what BioWare wants Quarians to look like for any future things that they might do, it's just like, really? I mean, Javik says that that Quarians have always been considered to be beautiful, but I think they should have made it so that Quarians looked more alien than human. It kind of takes away that exotic idea of the Quarians away, because there is a lot of exotic feeling to the Quarians, especially their I mean, they've got that accent. Nobody knows what they look like. There's that alien mysteriousness. I mean, they've got 3 fingers. They have dextro DNA. I mean, come on. They have the DNA of a Turian, similar to the Turians. They can't even eat the same food that humans eat, yet they look like humans. They might do some changes. I think they will. If they ever think about bringing back a Quarian without the suit in the future. BioWare usually listens to fan feedback, so maybe they will make a few changes here and there. They always kind of had the idea of making Quarians have hair, because I remember early on, in early productions of Mass Effect, they said that behind the hood, in the hood of Tali's hood, you could see this little, in Mass Effect 2, you could see like a little lump on her hood, like this, that she didn't have in Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1, it was like this, it was like straight. And they said that they did that on purpose because they made it so that it looked like Tali had shorter hair in Mass Effect 2. That little, like a kind of like a bob, I guess. To make her look more mature. To make her look like she had aged more. So they gave her a shorter haircut. And when in Mass Effect 1, she had longer hair. So they always had the idea of hair behind that hood. So the hair part is that had always been in their minds, which is fine, whatever. But I think they should have made them look more alien. People were like, what? She looks like she's a freaking human. Like, I've seen that picture online. I think that's what really bothered people the most. So that's pretty much it. I'm actually running out of voice. I don't know if you guys notice it. I'm struggling to talk. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about when it comes to Tali. There's so much more to her that I could keep talking about. I'm going to be putting the Shadow Broker logs at the end so you could see what was said on there. She has some pretty funny stuff, some pretty good stuff. I'm also going to be adding your guys' comments on some of your guys' comments from YouTube of why you love Tali so much. So stick around towards the end so you guys could see those. Why people love Tali, why you guys love Tali, why you guys chose Tali over Liara, or at least a lot of you did, chose Tali over Liara, and also for those logs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have anything else to add when it comes to Tali, because I know I probably missed a few things, just talk about it in the comments. If I were to answer my own question, why do I love Tali? I love Tali because of that loyalty that she expresses to Shepard throughout the whole, especially in Mass Effect 2. She's always been one of the most loyal characters to Shepard. No matter what he does, she's always trusted him. She's always shown him support. And she's just grown so much. She's grown so much throughout the whole trilogy that she just became this character that was so strong, so sure of herself, and accomplished at the same time. Of course, it all depends on what happens in your game, but that's how she was in mine. And she's just, one of those characters that us geeks, us gamers would just be such great friends with. Have a great N7 day. Thank you so much for watching. I should go.